that. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, beautiful zikr. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nur Maulana Shah Karim Hussaini Hazriman. Ya Maula Meherban, Ya Mushkil Kusha Meherban Maula, please help us, Maula, help us. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'mal nasir. जी हईड़े के भीतर अगन जलती रे पिया हईड़े के भीतर अगन जलती रे पिया सो तू ही बुझावाना हार रे मेहरबान मेरे साहेब मेरे दयावंत मेरे या शाह तुझ बिना सो दिन जावे ओ कैसा वियाजी. Ya Mushkil Kusha Meherban Maula, Ya Maula, in our hearts, Maula, we seek you, Maula. We desperately seek you, Maula. Ya Maula Meherban, though you are with us, Maula, you are always with us, Maula, but give us that eyesight, Maula, that we can see you, Maula. We can converse with you, Maula. Ya Maula Meherban, Ya Maula Meherban, all the friends present here online, Maula. Ya Mola, we all together are seeking you, Mola. These are blessed souls, Mola, who come to join classes in difficult hours, Mola. Ya Mola Meherban, Ya Mushkil Kusha Mola, bless each and every one of them, Mola. Ya Mola, please accept our intention of doing this ilmi zikr, of reading Farmans and trying to understand, Mola, your pearls of wisdom, Mola, you have given to us, Mola. Ya Mola, unfold the tawilat in our heart, Mola. Ya Mola Meherban, Ya Mola, help us understand this knowledge, Mola. Ya Mola Meherban, without you, we are not able to do that, Mola. It is all due to your mercy, Mola. Ya Mola Meherban, Ya Mola Meherban, please help us. Help us, Mola. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen, Shukranillah, Alhamdulillah. Today we have very small Farameens, so we inshallah are hoping to cover at least 3 of them. This is Farman number 28, Sindh, Hyderabad, February 9, 1898. हक मौलाना धड़ी सलामत दातार सरकार आका सुल्तान मोहम्मद शाह हाजरी इमाम ने हुजूर માં એક માણસે અરજ કરી કે મારા છોકરાની શાદી કરવી છે તે કઈ તારીખે કરું ત્યારે હાજરી ઇમામે ફરમાવ્યું સલવાત પઢો અલ્લાહુમ્મા સલ્લી અલા મુહમ્મદ વ આલ મુહમ્મદ પરમ દિવસે કરો ત્યારે તેણે અરજ કરી કે પરમ દિવસે 28મી તારીખ છે તે કાચી તારીખ છે, તો કેમ કરું? ત્યારે હાજરી મામે ફરમાવ્યું, મોમિનને માટે સર્વે તારીખ પાકી છે, કોઈ તારીખ કાચી નથી. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So in this Farman, one of the Jama'ati member comes forward and asks Imams that, my son is going to get married. What date should I choose for that? And Imam says, day after tomorrow, which is 28th. So he says 28th is not a strong date, meaning that he was implying that because of this date, which is not strong, their marriage can, not last longer. It can break. Mola says that for Ismaili, for moments, every date is a strong date. It doesn't matter which date it is. There is another thing which people think that 3 or 13th are not good dates. And we do know that our Hazri Imam, we celebrate his birthday on 13th. So for Ismaili moment who is in knowledge, these things do not matter. Every day is his day, and every hour, every minute is his beauty around us. When we look into the eyes with knowledge. Farman number 29th, Jangbar, June 28th, 1899. Haq Maulana, Dhani Salamat Datar, Sarkar Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah, Hazri Imam-e ફરમાવ્યું, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. અમે અહીં જંગબારમાં જમાતના માટે આવ્યા છીએ. તમારી મોહબ્બત અને ખુશાલી જોઈ અમે તમારા ઉપર ઘણા ખુશી થયા છીએ. તમે અમને જોઈને ઘણા રાજી થાવ છો. તે કરતા 1000 દરજે વધારે અમે તમો જમાતને જોઈને રાજી થઈએ છીએ. અલ્લાહુમ્મા સલ્લી અલા મુહમ્મદ વ અલા મુહમ્મદ. This is such a beautiful Farman, heartwarming. Maula says to the Jangbar Jamaat that I see your happiness. I see my love in you, in your expression, I see that. And seeing that, I am happy. And I see that you become very happy to see me. But you know what? When I see you, I am 1,000 times more happier than you. So sometimes we say that in our heart that, Ya Maula, we seek you, we miss you and we want your didar. And sometimes we complain to that, why do you not give me didar, right? As if, it is our missing, which is elevated, our giryazari, our zikr ibadat, which is powerful, and we seek his didar. We have done so much, Maula, for you. Can you not give us didar? Sometimes we start talking like that. We start counting. I do this, I do this, I do that. Why do you not give me didar? Remember the desperation or happiness which we have in our heart. Imam wants to see us 1,000 times more. He loves us 1,000 times more, which is, we cannot comprehend it actually. Because if we do zikr ibadat, giryazari, and we start complaining that, Ya Maula, you don't give this to us, you don't give that to us, and for a moment it is didar actually. That bless me with the didar, Maula. How long you are going to make me stay desperate? Imam is more desperate than us. Imam is waiting for us. Meaning what we need to realize and learn that, in physical life, when we are in love and we miss each other, right, as a couple, and we are desperately wanting to meet each other and, just being with you, when you are in love with somebody. Imagine that desperation and multiply it 100,000 times. If we are desperate and seeking him, can we even imagine how desperately he's waiting for us to come to him? Now, the thing is that we, being in physical world, there are conditions which we have to meet, because physically we cannot meet Imam, right? Imam is in Lisbon. Physically, we are not going there. If we were to go there, the guard may not even let us enter in his place, right? In his diwan. This, a moment when we talk like that, it is all about spirituality. And when we are living in this physical dense body, we have to meet all those conditions to come out of this body. It is in this subtle body that we can have didar. Physical didar, we all have had it. So it is not the physical didar as per se. Yes, we would love Imam's physical didar, but the duashis which Imam gives in Baitul Khiyal, when he shows his happiness, it is actually not limited to physical happiness. It is not limited to physical didar. It is actually about spiritual and luminous didar. And for that, we have to transform ourselves in that form, in that body, that we can see his didar and tolerate it as well. Why do I say tolerate? We remember the story of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, who was saying, I want your didar, I want your didar. And God kept on saying, oh, you will not be able to hold or accept or tolerate it, right? You will not be able to withhold it, kind of. And he says, no, no, I will, please give me your didar, give me your didar. And when we read that on Kohe Tur, Mount Sinai, when God gives him didar, it is being said that he kind of becomes unconscious. He passes out. He cannot withhold that power, the light, the didar. This is the physical story, but we are trying to make a point here that even the prophet are nothing, could not withhold the power of the light. Are we ready? It is all actually about us becoming ready to be able to have that didar. It is not that he does not want to give us didar. We have not worked hard to be at that level that we can have his didar. He's waiting desperately. So it is beautiful reminder for us that how much Imam loves us and how much he wants us to, be blessed with his didar. He's ready. We have to get there. Ameen, Ya Mawla. And then this is the Farman number 30th. Inshallah, we will have discussion in this one. It is also from Jangbar, June 29th, 1899. Haq Maulana Dhani Salamat Datar Sarkar Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah Hazri Mame Farmaviu. Salawat pro Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala. અમે તમો જમાતને હમણાં દીદાર દેવા માટે આવ્યા છીએ. તમે સગડા અમારા દીદાર કરી પોતાને ધંધે લાગી જાઓ. Very beautiful Imam says, I have come to you to give my didar, physical didar. After having my didar, you all need to go and work. Go to your, business place, workplace. And this is the line, very important line, and I like to talk about this, but let's review the Farman because some friends don't understand Gujarati. So we'll have some paraphrasing in English so they understand. તમારે જે ધંધો રોજગાર કરવો તે હલાલ રીતે કરવો. Whatever business work you do, you have to do it in a halal way, in a way which is allowed. And we have talked about it. Haram રીતે ધંધો રોજગાર કરવો નહીં. Imam again reminds that do not be earning money in a wrong way, in a way which is haram, which is prohibited, right? Atle, then he explains, meaning પારકો માલ પાછવી પારકો માલ પાછળવી પાડવો નહીં. Do not take anybody else's property, money, anybody else's earning. પારકી औरत तरफ बदनजर करवी नहीं. તેમજ જૂઠું કડી બોલવું નહીં. Do not have, bad eyes on anybody else's wife, and do not lie. Now we have talked about these things. If somebody has not heard previous lectures, they need to go back and, listen to that because it is all allegories. Yes, there is a physical meaning that, extramarital affairs, man or woman, both it is prohibited, but do not have thoughts of any man or woman. So Imam is reminding us that it is not allowed. It is all haram, right? Prohibited. And then do not lie. તમે દીન ભાઈઓમાં કોઈ બિલકુલ કીનો બિલકુલ રાખશો નહીં. તમે દીન ભાઈઓ છો તો ખરેખરા ભાઈઓ છો, તેઓ સાથે કીનો રાખશો નહીં. You all are, we are brothers and sisters in Jama'at. Do not have kina, do not have hasad. What would you call it, kina in English? ill thoughts about somebody else, thoughts of harming somebody else, jealous of somebody else, all that actually comes into kina category, having uh, uh, negativity in the heart for others. And Imam says that you all are truly brothers and sisters. You are truly one Jama'at, one brotherhood. And you should not be thinking or having those thoughts in your heart. So Imam is again reminding us what is good, what is bad, what is haram, what is halal, and we need to follow what is Imam's guidance are. In Quran, in Ginan, it is all same guidance. In fact, these are the guidance which are given in every religion. Every religion teaches, people to be honest, sincere, taqwa. Every religion teaches us. So it is not that if we are smileys, we need to have, we have additional things to do. No, every religion teaches the same thing. But in smiley tariqa, yes, we are batiniyu, right? We are hakikati tariqa. So we seek the inner meaning, higher meaning. There is morality at first level, taqwa, and then there are higher levels of purity which we seek. And we have talked about the sun is one way of seeking purity. Getting the prayers of Imam when we pay the sun, he purifies us. Similarly, there are so many pillars in Islam which we follow. We have 7 pillars we follow to seek purity and understand what is allowed, what is not allowed, and follow the guidance, right? And be the followers of Hakikati Tariqa. Be followers of Hakikati Tariqa because we are different from all the sects in Islam. People are followers of Prophet Muhammad, or they follow the Quran. Some follow even Imam. We have 12 words as well. But Ismaili Jamaat is the only Jamaat who has Hazir or Mawjud Imam. We get current guidance and we continue to seek the higher meaning, the Batni meaning of our tariqa by learning this knowledge and elevating ourselves spiritually. For what reason? Again, the reason is same, that we can transform ourselves into those subtle bodies, Nurani Badan. Because Imam has told us that if you seek my didar, you have to be Nurani Badan. So all what we are doing actually for one and one reason, that during the lifetime, we are able to get that Nurani Badan that can fly and meet Imam, right? So this was just, brief summary and discussion revision for us to understand the Farman. But I would like to focus here when I was reading, and we can go pass by this Farman as well. But we have to realize, we have to reflect things which we have not talked about. Immediately after having the didar of Imam, Imam says that you all need to go do your work and do the work with sincerity and honesty. When we walk on the path of tariqa and when we start falling in love with Imam through knowledge as well, because it's a different kind of love. We all love Imam, but love of Imam in knowledge is very, very powerful, very beautiful. It melts our heart. Knowing that how merciful he is, right? Our hearts melt and we love him more and more. Every day, due to knowledge, we continue to fall in love with him more. It is very powerful to see the didar in knowledge. Very powerful. Now, when Imam guides us that we have to go back immediately, after didar, go back to work. When we walk on this path, sometimes even in knowledge, we enjoy knowledge so much that we just want to be listening and being in these classes and just do not want to take care of the worldly duties, right? Leave worldly work and just do this. Let me just be in Jamaat Khana. Let me just do khidmat. Let me just do zikr. I just want to get away from the stressors of the life and the work. I don't want to do that. And we see in the physical world, in our world, that there are very many religions, they promote that you can leave the physical duties of the world. We have monks, we have nuns, so many other places, right? And I was thinking that how do I help us understand that at one level we are right, in the sense that we do not want this worldly, stressors, which brings sorrows, which makes us, not being able to stay consistent on our direction of knowledge and learning and growing. Because every time something happens, we are, distracted, and then we have to bring ourselves back. And we do not want to be distracted. I want to speed up this journey. But amazingly, Imam says, you just had my didar, go to your work. Oh Mola, let us be with you more. Let me say more zikr. Let me be enjoying this didar and just thinking about it. No, go to work. Why does Imam emphasize for us to work? Now, I'm not going to go into why, because we have talked about it. It is a test of life which we have to fulfill. But the part I want to emphasize today, actually, I want to talk about a Ginan. Those friends who come early here, we have to do something different for them as well, right? I would like to talk about a Ginan in which Pir is actually teaching us same thing in a very different way. And sometimes what happens, that we get impressed. We get impressed when we see other people, other tariqa, other religions, and we see that how they are able to focus on just this journey. We do have that desire when we see somebody so much into this journey, we just want to be doing this all the time. But Imam's Farman is different. So let us see those who actually leave the world and become yogis, sadhu, nun, whatever, titles we see in the physical world that they have when they just follow this path, right? Just they want to be in remembrance. And this is a beautiful Ginan. I love this Ginan. It is one of the Ruhani Ginans. And I thought that, let's discuss this Ginan and understand why Imam is telling us to not be like those who have left the physical world in the physical life. He tells us immediately after Didar, go and work honestly. Our Pir Mai Bap is also teaching us to help us realize that when we get mesmerized or impressed by those people who constantly just do this, they have nothing to do with the physical worldly duties. They do not want to get married. They do not want to have children. They don't want to work. They just want to beg for food, and whatever they get, they just want to stay in remembrance. That is not allowed in our religion. In our tariqa, we are expected to take full load of life, work, have family, have kids, go through all the pains and sorrows of life, and then follow the tariqa. Follow hakikati tariqa. Now, we can talk unlimited to understand the hakikat part. And it is high time that we need to understand that this is the time of Qiyamah. And we have to understand Shariat is limited, but Hakikat is spread out all our time, like 24 hours. We cannot get away from that, right? We have to follow our tariqa 24 hours, every minute of our life, every breath of our life. But when we see these people, like this yogi, our Pir is talking about, so let's read this Ginan. Abadu Jugat Jol Santosh Patra Karo Ane Danda Karo Vichar. Khamya Daya ki doe mundra pero Ginan kar jo ahar abadu. Te jogi jugma hai. Jako man duja nahi re abadu. Jogi jugma hai. So I've taken the translation and somehow I didn't put it on the slide from the heritage site, that, the translation, I'll read that, what is online. O slave, make the begging, bowl the path with care and contentment, and let the thought process and reflection be the stirring stick. Wear the two earrings of patience and mercy. Let the ginans to be your food. O slave, the sage in this world is one whose heart is free from matters other than faith and religion. So this is the translation, and let's talk about it. And I look at the Ginan. Abadu, Jugat Jol, Santosh Patra Karo. So Abadu, there are difference of opinion about Abdu. The word Abdu, those who translate Ginan or discuss Ginan. Abdu was a person, Abdu was a slave, student of Pir, Momin, and probably mesmerized by this, jogi around them. And our Pir is teaching that, O Momin, O slave, O Abdu, when you are begging, the way they beg on the path, you need to learn to beg, being an Abdu, being a Momin, slave of Imam, beg, have that bowl of Santosh Patra karo. Abadu, Jugat Jol Santosh Patra karo. Santosh is actually, if we were to look at this word, it is from peace. The word peace, Darus Salam, which we say it in our dua, right? It is to do with peace. And peace is very important to walk on the path of religion. And we live in today's world, anxiety, depression, stress is very much into this world. Everything around us is giving us anxiety, making us anxious. Need to do that, need to do this. But Pir teaches us that if you want to be that slave, which slave? Hakikati slave, not the physical yogi, but the spiritual yogi. If you are on this path and if you want to beg, you are begging, you need to beg for that santosh, that peace in your heart, which is very much needed to stay focused and remain on this path. Anxiety, depression, we have labeled these as diseases, but in today's time, we are learning more and more that very much normal people go through this kind of feelings. Intensity is different. We are not talking about those who are really medically diagnosed and sick, but because of whatever sorrows or problems one faces, they get into this path of not being able to handle their physical life, right? And after COVID, it has become very much evident. And that's why actually we are celebrating Mental Health Month. May is a Mental Health Month. So all these points, makes you think that Pir has taught us that seek peace in your path. If you're begging, if we are beggars, if we are Mominins, we need to ask for peace. How do we get this peace? Of course, Pir says, Ane danda karo vichar. It is all here. It is all here. That make your thoughts like stick, stirring stick, the way this translation says, danda karo vichar, meaning make your thoughts so focused, become so content. How do we do that? We have to really, really protect our energies. We really have to protect what is entering into our being through our senses. And when we have guards, sets on our, senses, the way we have been taught in our ginans, in our talimat, that these are all doors, eyes, ears, tongue, all our senses are doors. And we need to be keeping a guard at the door. If we were not to keep guard, anything and everything will enter. And then anxiety is part of us. And that is why we are being taught, beg for santosh, peace, right? And keep that power of thought, focus, reflecting, being mindful, stay in awareness. And then, yogis do wear big earrings, right? So Pir is saying that yes, you can wear earring for us as momini, not the physical earrings, but earring of mercy and patience. All of us, men and women, we have to, अपने आप को सिंगारना है. We have to get ready and wear the jewelry and makeup. Everything has a meaning. Every physical thing in the world has a meaning. So when we get ready for our Imam and we are wearing jewelry, patience and mercy. Now, when we think of patience and mercy, we think of Imam being patient and merciful. How can we be patient and merciful? And when we think of us, we think of being patient and merciful to others or family members. No, it starts with us. Be patient with yourself. Be merciful. Be kind to yourself. Are we being kind? Are we being patient? I want this right now. I'm doing this the way we talked about it, right? Complaining. I'm doing this zikr. I'm attending ilm classes. I want this. Why do I not get it? That is not being kind to yourself. That is not being patient with yourself. And then Peer says, Ginan kar jo ahar abdu, right? Which are Khamya Daya ki, Ginan. Ginan kar jo ahar. Ahar is actually to eat. Constantly make your food Ginan. How are we going to eat this Ginan? Ginan means knowledge. Be mindful in your thought process. Remain kind and patient with yourself by learning this knowledge. If we don't have this knowledge, we don't understand this knowledge, we will be mindlessly doing what we are doing, going to Jama'at Khana, doing zikr, dua, bandagi, nothing enters our being. Superficially, this person is a mom, right? So we are not seekers of the superficial things. We are seeker of the inner things, which nobody sees. Only our Imam sees. So it is nothing to tell anybody or share it with anybody, but it is all what is inside us, right? And then it says, Abadu to jogi jugma hai jako man dujare nahi. We are not going to look at others. Look into yourselves. So when we become jogi, what we are portraying, right? Think of those people who get impressed by these people, right? Wow, this person is a jogi, right? And this jogi is sitting and judging everybody. Look at you, you are still in the world, and I have, tyag diya hai. I have left the worldly desires. So I am better than you. Become like me. No, peace says, no, you cannot do that. You have to live in the world, but not be of the world. So this is the test. The physical life in itself is a test. And that is why, if we have been studying these farmans, the way Imam has taught us that our business, our work is our ibadat, our relations are our ibadat, everything we do in our life is ibadat for Mu'min. Because Mu'minins elevate themselves by living the worldly life in its full capacity. And they are able to attain salvation because they are following the tariqah according to the farmans of Imam. Do not run away from the worldly duties and the worldly life. Do not run away. Stay with it, accept it as a test, and be with him in his remembrance. Seek patience and mercy from him because we are very unkind to ourselves. We constantly judge ourselves, criticize ourselves. Criticism does not help us grow. Love, care, motivation, encouragement helps us grow. So remember that treat yourself with kindness and patience, right? If I'm wearing this earring and I look at myself in mirror, I like it. I'm wearing it. I'm happy about it because I look good. I'm not talking about physical earrings. I'm talking about kindness and being patient to yourself. When you look at yourself and you check your pulse, be kind. Be in awareness that I need to do better. I will do better. I did this mistake today. Next minute, next hour, I'm not going to repeat this. This family situation led me to do this. I was reactive, impulsive. Next family situation, I will not do that. Constantly learning, constantly growing, constantly desiring to be better. Be a nice and kind and polite person. Constantly. It takes work. It takes patience. It takes this begging bowl of seeking peace in the heart. How can even we see ourselves when we have no peace in our heart? It is constantly doing, anxiety. We can't. We have to have that peace in our heart to be able to see what we are doing, right? And then the second verse says, Abadu gur mera ginan virag ki indri. અને સંગમ કરો ભભૂતા સાચ ધર્મ સચ કરી ધ્યાવો તે જોગી है अवधूता अवधूत. I love this Ginan, such a beautiful Ginan, right? So the translation online says, O slave, my guide is in the opening for the understanding of the mysteries of the Ginans and the path of asceticism, and be in union with ash or clay. Worship and adore the true religion in a truthful manner, then indeed the sage will be regarded as a carefree dervish. The reason I think I didn't put the translation, I didn't like it much. So, that is why. So let's look at the words here. Abadu gur mera ginan virag ki indri. This moment, this slave is saying that, I am into this knowledge, in this mystery. Ginan, knowledge is full of wonders and marvels. There are so many pearls of wisdoms hidden in Ginan, in knowledge. Just read the book of Allama Sahib, right? It is about ta'wil of Quranic verses, which we see in Ginans and Farmans actually. The understanding of Ginan and Farman comes from the ta'wili understanding of Quran actually. For me, I knew Ginan, but I never understood Ginan until I studied Quran. So do know that when we understand the ta'wili meaning of Quran, you will understand every Ginan, every Farman, and it will not be difficult at all. At all. Because it is all in understanding the ta'wili ilm of Quran, which is our book. So in Ginan, Pir says, Guru Mera Ginan, my Lord, my Shah is actually Ginan. Remember, Ginan, which is knowledge, one of the special name for knowledge is also light. And who is Imam? Imam is light. So when we are at the bottom level, we see knowledge separate, Ginan, this Ginan separate, Quran separate, Farman separate. All these things are separate. And Imam is separate as a person, as a personality. But when we continue to walk on the path, everything comes together and we become like that. Everything becomes one. So in the beginning, yes, everything is different resource and we have to study everything, right? But in reality, the more you get into that, it all becomes one. And it's not difficult if we are sincerely follow this path of learning and growing. It is not difficult. Be kind and patient with yourself. Be committed to Imam and be committed to the knowledge which is of Imam. So Pir says, Ginan, Gur Mera Ginan. It is in knowledge that Pir found Imam, and Pir is teaching us that. Gur Mera Ginan Virag ki Indri. It is the path of, the Virag is like those yogis who, give away everything, leave everything. The way Pir in another Ginan says, Eji kutumb parivar sajna mein sab kuch chhodiya. In reality, were they not married? They did not have family or children? They did. But why this Ginanic verse then? For us to understand that these yogis who show us Vairag, like they've left everything, they're detached. But that is not the correct detachment because everything is here. The detachment we seek is here. The knowledge, when we seek, it gets all here, it rules, it commands the whole being. And then comes Vairag, that detachment, right? And then he says, Ane sangam karo bhabuta. Bhabuta again, the when they do loban and whatnot, and there's a smoke coming out and the ash. So allegorically, Pir is using that example for, yogis. But what we have to learn, he says, sangam karo bhabuta. The burning of this carnal soul, when we are controlling the carnal soul and its desires from here, of course there is pain because I love physical world. It is very enjoyable. It is very much fun. So there is pain in the beginning when we detach from the physical world from here. there will be clay or ash or smoke or whatever, right? Be one with that pain, be one that with smoke, be one with that detachment, because that is what Momin does. तो जोगी है साच धर्म सच करी ध्याओ, and then only you will be able to follow the true religion. Detachment, becoming one with the pain of leaving things from here and here, not physically. And then you are a true yogi. Otherwise, why do you do this dhong? Why do you show off becoming a Momin and a yogi and I'm regular and this and that? If inside has not changed, it is all about inside, right? And then Pir says, Abadu, chand suraj doe roki rakho ane man chint dharo is dandi. Sukhmana tanti vajra lagi e bhed kise jakhandi re Abadu. Who do I tell this secret? Who do I tell the mysteries I found in my heart, in my intellect? There are mysteries, there are wonders and marvels in the knowledge. There are. And after ilmul yaqeen comes ainul yaqeen. We see all these wonders and marvels in our heart, in our personal world. Who do I tell? Who will understand? Right? Pir says in Brahm Prakash, right? Chaki kar bakiya. Or he says that gunge sapna paya. At the level of ainul yaqeen, you cannot express. There is no language to talk about what you've seen, but knowledge. Because the first step is knowledge. When we seek knowledge, then only we can go to the next step. There are wonders and marvels in knowledge, right? So he says, who do I tell? How do I tell? How do I? Very few are aware of these mysteries. So let me read the online translation. O slave, retain the sun and the moon, which is Imam and the Pir, in your hearts, and consciousness keep such a stick thoughts always, then the force nerve channel Sukhmana will begin to vibrate after being activated and hence will produce a musical sound, Sures Rafil. Very few are aware of the mysteries of such phenomena. So beautiful, at least they've used Sures Rafil in translation, but the whole, the translation, it is okay. They've done a good job in translating, can be better. So, Abadu, Chand Suraj, do ero ki rakho. So, we understand here, Hudud-e-Din actually. Chand and Suraj. Chand is allegory for a Pir. Suraj is an allegory used for Imam. So, helping us see the concept of Hudud-e-Din here. There are darjat, there are ranks. Imam is a rank. So, Chand Suraj, do ero ki rakho. Roki rakho, keep it in your heart. Understand these talimat, understand the status of the Pir and the Imam, because Pir is teaching us. He's teaching us about his status, right? And in today's time, we have to understand that we have no hudud-e-din, none so whatsoever. We have no hudud-e-din. We only have Imam, because it is the time of Qiyamah, right? Ane man chint dharo is dandi, make your heart so focused, like a stick, not moving here and there. In the olden times, those who wanted Ismail Azam, the stick would be kept on their head. And if they, fall asleep, the stick falls down. And then, of course, you cannot get Ismail Azam. This is a physical thing. And it was tested in the past, time. But in today's time, that stick is still there. It is here in our intellect, in our thoughts. So the stick has not gone away. His mercy has come near us. And if we have not followed those, tests within ourselves, being serious and sincere seekers, that stick keeps on falling, keeps on falling. So here, Pir is teaching us that keep, man chint dharo is dandi. Keep your thoughts so focused. That's like a stick. It doesn't fall, it doesn't move. Sukmana Tanti Vajanalani. Now, I'm not going to go into the nerve channel or Sukmana because it was understanding in the past. I'm not going to go into that. The essence is that, yes, there are stages which Mu'min Salik goes through, right? There are stages. And there are very many understanding of stages, very many understanding. For example, if a Mu'min starts the journey as a student, as a mustajib, each level is an elevation in batin, in batin. For a Mu'min, he or she can elevate being fana in each level, right? So, man chinta dharo is dandi. When we stay focused on this path, it is to climb this ladder. And surely we will have Sukhmana Tanti Vajan Lagi. Vajan Lagi is we start listening. It is to do with listening. And if you had attended the session of Nachi's on Duai Noor on Thursday, we talked about Surah Rafi and the sense of hearing. Sense of hearing. So if you have not, you must listen and you will understand this Ginan verse in a better way. That when we open, when we follow the conditions and this hearing, we are able to hear, not the physical things, but the spiritual things. And Pir is actually, of course, the translator has given us the highest level, Surah Israfil in the translation online, which is the highest level of Ruhani listening one can have. One can, it is a Surah Israfil, right? It is the Nakara of Qiyamah, you know? It is the trumpet which is blown when the Qiyamah resurrection happens. So listening, Quran talks about listening of buzzing of mosquito, beginning stage. But then it can continue to go further and further. And when Qiyamah happens, it is truly Surah Israfil which is being blown. Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Abdu. How do I tell this mystery? How do we understand this? Only when we read the books of our Buzurgware Deen, the Ginan, and beautiful books of our Buzurgware Deen, only through knowledge we will realize what they are touching on. Because we cannot understand it until we've experienced it, because this is something to experience. He says, Gunge sapna paya. A mute has seen the dream. How do you express that dream? You can't. There is no way possible. So Pir says very clearly, how do I tell you that mystery? It is only to be seen by ourselves. Abadu sab avgun tajo triveni nahao ane anhad nad bajao. Kahe Pir Shammas, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. जीवन मरिए तो अवरथ जन्म न पाए जीवन मरिए मुतु कबल अंत मुतु die while living, die while living. It is only this way that we will be able to have all this joy of a spiritual luminous world. There is no other way. There is no other way. Meaning, what we are saying, Imam said, have my didar and go to work. We live full physical life. Never run away from physical duties. We take it head on, but by keeping Imam in our heart, keeping that peace through his name, stay connected with him through that peace and remembrance. Every night sitting down, talking to him, submitting all worries and sorrows to him, because this is who we are. And seek his peace, his patience, courage from him to remain that steady moment who does not go like this, right? It is every day's practice. Every day we become like that, we submit, every day we become better, right? So peace says, oh, sab avagun tajo, shun all the misdeeds and focus your concentration on the region joining the Ingala, Pingala, and Sukhmana force channel. Again, I'm reading the online translation. Then you will initiate, play, or hear celestial sounds. Pir Shams says that if one dies while still alive, he will not have to take up further births. So we do not have as per se births, we do not believe in Janam Maran the way Hindu reincarnation concept people believe. But the key concept here is that, the way Pir is talking about again, Triveni. So Triveni, of course, in Hindu mythology, it's Ingala, Pingala, Sukhmana, three nerve channels. We have in physically, I may say inferior vena cava, superior vena. I can, tell you different things. But the key concept is Ingala, Pingala, Sukhmana Tanti, my physical being, my spiritual being, and my intellectual being. It has to be in peace. In peace, the whole being. And the command center is here, not here actually. It is here. And we have to have that peace to attain that joy, to attain that status of die while living. Then we will be able to have all his didar, have the Surah Israfil hearing from our ears, blowing of that trumpet, going through resurrection and becoming one with Imam. Shukran lillah, alhamdulillah, ya Mawla, fulfill our all good desires, Mawla. Fulfill our all good desires, Mawla. We submit all our desires to you, Mawla. Ameen, ya Rabbal Alameen. Shukran lillah, alhamdulillah, shukran lillah, alhamdulillah.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Wonderful session again, Niamat Saiba. Last week we were looking at the Quran. This week we are looking at Ginan and understanding the inner meanings of that, the Ginan, which unless you understand Gujrati very well, it's quite difficult to understand anyway, the Ginans. You mentioned Hudud-e-Din quite a few times. And although we've discussed this previously, I was wondering if you could briefly explain the Hudud-e-Din for friends who have not heard about Hudud-e-Din previously.
So Hudud-e-Din, we have lectures on it, and I would really encourage friends who have not listened, because it is more, terms, we have to be familiar with those terms, but Hudud-e-Din is a ladder, right? And in classical time, they used to have these rankings. My computer is dying, give me a moment. All right, so we used to have this ladder, which we do not have in today's time. It is only Imam and nothing else, right? And but we also have learned that these classical hierarchy did exist in the Fatimid time, classical time, and in today's time, it is all in Batin. And what we do, we take those concepts and understand the meaning of it and apply it in today's time spiritually. For example, when, let's say, one who comes to this knowledge, a new friend who has come, we will call them student or mustajib. Then the next level is of Mazun. Incomplete Mazun, and then complete Mazun, or Mazun under training, or Mazun completed training. And Mazun, we can kind of take it as an equivalent of our missionaries we see in Jama'at Khana, right? We call them Alwaz, right? Alwaz and Alwaiza. We can say Mazun, who are under training Alwaz and completed training, Mazun-e-Mutallaq. Then we have title of Dai. Dai also has two titles, a Dai who is under the training and the Dai who has completed the training. Potential Dai, the way we also have, given this title in Batin. Physically, we all are, seeking this knowledge. We have not fulfilled the expectations which were there in the classical time from a Dai. If you read the books of Dai, it's mind-blowing, right? The way they had progressed. But Alhamdulillah, it is Imam's mercy that in time of Qiyamah, wisdomfully and mercifully, he has given us this title, and we need to understand why. So potentially we have this title of Thy as well, right? And so Thy under training and Thy who has completed the training. So again, it's a series, it's a ladder. And then after Thy, we have Hujjat. Hujjat is Peer. And we have Peer, and after that, we have Ba. So Hujjat in Persian, Peer in our language. We just studied the Ginan in our Peer's language, right? And we have Hujjatan as well, like Pir Nasir Khusro, their Qasida, beautiful Qasidas we read. So we have Peers, or who are also called Hujjatan. And after Hujjat comes a Bab. Bab is the Imam-e Lahik, the one who is going to become the next Imam, who will receive the Amr of Imam. And then we have Imam-e Mustaqar, who is on the seat, who is the Malik of Amr, who is sitting on the throne, who is the Imam, who is the Shah. And then we have Asas. And we have talked about Asas title. Asas is a title given to the Imam who is with a Natik. So the next rank is of Natik. Natik, for example, Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and Hazrat Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So these are six Natik, six major prophet, if you were to call them in English, but I would say the proper term is Natik. And with each Natik, there is an Imam who does the work of Ta'wil, because each Natik brings a Sharia, brings the book, and the Imam who is with the Natik gives the Ta'wili ilm. Like for us, we say, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad. So Prophet Muhammad was the Natik, and Maula Ali has the title of Asas Imam, right? So Maula Ali is a Muwawwil Quran, meaning he is the one who teaches us the Ta'wil of Quran, right? And he comes in the heart of the Mu'min and Salikin who become Arifin, like we see our Pir, we see Allama Sahib. These personalities who have gone through Qiyamah die while living. They are blessed with all the secrets of Imam in their being. They have all the knowledge. And it is through the rank of the Asas Imam, who is the Muwawwil Quran, who teaches us the Quran, the meaning of the Quran. He teaches us the Ta'wil. And then we have Nafse Kulli Akli Kulli, universal soul and universal intellect, right? So all these are ranks of Hudud-e-Din. All these are ranks. And we used to have this rank. And of course, there are some which are Ruhani ranks and there are physical ranks. Like in today's time, we do not see as per se Asas Imam, Natik. They are also in Ruhaniyat in today's time. And of course, Nafse Kul Akli Kul are also spiritual ranks, right? So we have physical ranks, physical hududs, and spiritual hududs. In today's time, all the ranks have been encompassed in Imam. Everything Imam has taken within himself. Meaning, according to the Farman of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, that you can become Peer or Paigambar, right? Imam has said that what it means that in today's time, in our batin, a moment can elevate as much as they like. Imam is desperately waiting. It is up to us to elevate, to get to that level. So I hope a brief explanation of this is good for now. We do have lectures, so friends who are interested, they can definitely ask.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Thank you for that explanation. Friends, if you have any questions or comments, please come forward. While we're waiting for that, we talked about being living in the world, but not getting immersed in the world. The example being being in a boat, but making sure the water doesn't get into the boat, so the boat sinks. It's a very difficult activity to perform as such, because it's very easy to get drowned and get involved in worldly matters and then forget our journey, the spiritual journey as such. Do you have any thoughts that or any way that we can actually make this job easier?
Isn't this difficult? Very difficult.
Yes,
I agree with that,
thanks.
right? Very difficult. But again, when we seek guidance from Imam and we see, Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, the way he has taught us in such detail, he has given us activities, right? To literally do. He has like dictated to us, but we don't follow. That's how I feel for me, for myself, okay? That Imam has given us this teachings that every night become a doctor of your own self and check your pulse, right? It is a very powerful activity. How do we get sick and we run to the doctors because we don't feel good? We don't see our soul, so we constantly ignore our soul. Yes, we get reminded when we come to knowledge classes or we, attend some gathering and then we again forget as soon as we come out of it, right? Or the worldly, difficulty or worldly relationships difficulties come and then we kind of call it a quit and do not, continue to face what difficulties or challenges it brings because it is stressful. The thing is that if it were not possible for us in this physical life to do and attain closeness of Imam, if it were not to be possible, he would not have asked us. Because he does not want our lives to be difficult. He actually gives us easy way. So the key point is, Kareem, that we forget that whatever comes in our life is for a reason. And when we take it head on, without any fear, and keep his name with us, it will become a reason for elevation. But how do we remember it? We will not. Let me tell you, we will not. We will fall down. We will make mistakes. So it is not looking at our falls or making mistakes, but looking at how many times we stand up. Not calling quit on yourself. Remember, we also learned, be patient and kind. So sometimes, I feel that in today's time, we have learned due to this, digital progressive world, that everything is being counted. Our steps are being counted. How many glasses of water you drink is counted. What food, everything has to be accounted for us to be mindful about our physical life. Everything. Now, how do we have these accounts of our spiritual life? What app do we use to count how many breaths did I stay in remembrance? How many times did I say Ya Niamat? How do I quantify? So very interestingly, this physical world teaches us, actually, if we look at these signs, physical world teaches us that in the beginning, when we are weak and we are falling constantly, we have to quantify. Let me do this zikr 1,000 times and do it. Just do it. Take tasbih, move, or have a clicker, click, or whatever. Do it. And seek his strength. It is all about quantification in the beginning. Why quantification? Again, let me give you a worldly example. Let's say you are not drinking enough fluid. So the doctor says you've got to drink 6 to 8 glasses of water. So you find ways and means to remind yourself to drink water. You start logging in the water. But after some time, automatically you'll be drinking water. You will not have to quantify because that has become your habit. And habit takes long to become one. And let's say if some festival came in, why do we talk of negative things? Oh, there's happiness, there's joy, the family's together. Guess what? You forgot to drink. And if you have been told because you have symptoms, so you will start having symptoms and you'll be like, oh my God, because of that, I forgot to drink water. I should not have done that because now I'm physically not feeling good because I was supposed to drink water. Do you see that mindfulness, because of our physical ailment, and physical treatment and physical care. Similarly, if you are someone who is used to just 1,000 times, I have to say La ilaha anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin. Very, very powerful zikr. Very powerful zikr in which we say that we are being cruel to our soul. Mola, help us. You are Subhan. You help us. The day comes when, due to the worldly situation, you are not able to say it 1,000 times. You'll immediately feel that peace has gone. Oh, I did not take my medication. I did not drink my water. Immediately you're reminded. So what I'm saying, in other words, just do it. Nowadays, I think I'm saying that in my last session also, I said that just do it, because we are repeatedly asking the same things. It's not that we don't have the knowledge. To think of doing it is also a trap. Come out of that trap. Don't think, do it. Just do it. So whatever intention you think or you are guided to have, just do it. When we are quantifyingly continuing to do it, then you will see the change. But it has to last. This quantification, this habit, normally we do intentions on the group for 40 days, right? But is 40 days enough? No, after 40 days, you make another intention. You make another intention. You have to keep on staying in intention. Then you do intentions with friends and you do intentions individually. You have to have intentions. Otherwise, like, you have to have that app. Your friends, your group is an app which constantly reminds you, right? And you stay in remembrance. You fall? Yes, we will fall, because we are living in the physical world and we are human and we will make mistakes. Be patient and kind to yourself. Forgive yourself. Get up, start doing it again. That is the key.
Ji. We have a comment in the chat by Shena Saiba. She says, thank you so much for your example of a murid asking about a marriage date, because in our tariqah, there is no room for superstitious behavior. And then she also mentions, also the Quran cites the example of blowing on knots, etc.
Blowing on knots, I'm not sure. There could be, I don't know. So it's okay. It's her comment, yeah.
And
Munira, that's Munira.
Ji, okay.
Let me read what she's writing. एजी संसार मा एक मन कीजिए तेमा ना कीजिए भरंत जब तब संतु कीजिए तो shahish bon shahish Munira, you have to read it too, right? शेषमान होवे एकांत I can't read, it is hard. એ જે દુનિયા પ્રીત ને કીજે દુનિયા પ્રીત ના કીજે અને રાખો ધણી સુ ધ્યાન साहेब सु, see spelling error is there, okay. जब तब संतो कीजिए तो साहेब सु होवे एकांत ए जी दुनिया प्रीत ना कीजिए अने राखो धणी सु ध्यान दुनिया दिन चार छे ना Mafi. So there are spelling mistakes too, so it's hard for me to read.
Niamat
We
Saiba,
understand. Ji Yasmin.
जी संसारमा एक मन कीजिए तेमा न कीजिए भरंत जब तब सतनु कीजिए तो साहिब सु होवे एकांत तो साहिब सु होवे एकांत संसारमा एक मन कीजिए तेमा न कीजिए भरंत जब तब सतनु कीजिए तो साहिब सु होवे एकांत.
Thank you, Yasmin. So of course, we are all learning about becoming ekant, one dhyan, one soul with Imam. Inshallah, inshallah.
Niamat Saiba,
Ji.
another thing that reminded me when you were, saying કે દુનિયામાં રહીને કામ કરવું is very difficult. તો સુલતાન મોહમ્મદ શાહ એના ફરમાનમાં કહે છે કે તમારો શરીર તમારી સાથે, લેકિન તમારો રૂહ મારી સાથે. So I was understanding કે ઈ બધું કામ દુનિયાનો કરવાનું, પણ અમારા ખ્યાલ ખાલી એના સાથે જોડાઈ લેવાનું. રોજ જરા કામ થાય છે. And thank you also for reminding us all the time. Just do it.
Yes, just Inshallah.
Okay. Friends, any other comments or questions before we close the session? I take that as a no. Thank you, Niamat Saiba, once again for a wonderful session. Inshallah, we'll start with Farman number 31 next
Sure.
week.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yali
friends.
friends.
Yali Madad. Yali Madad.
Thank you. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
يعلم مدار شكرا
Yali
شكرا
Madad.
يلا
Shukran wala. Yali Madad. Yali Madad.
مدار
Yali Madad.
يعلم مدار
Yali Madad ma. Yali Madad.
شكرا شكرا
Shukr. Thank you.